welcome everyone to another incredible, super episode of Chat with Dan. For today, we have the incredible, the amazing, the badass, the epic Alice here with us. How are you today?
I am wonderful and I'm very happy to be here. So thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely, absolutely. So tell us, for those who don't know who is incredible, super amazing Alice, who are you basically?
So I'm an actress. I am based out of Toronto. Lately, in the last couple of years, I've been doing a lot of what we call MOWs, which is a movie of the week, sort of Hallmark style romantic comedies.
Hmm.
And I've had a couple leads in the last couple of years, which people now know me for. You can find me on IMDb. And yeah, that's basically what I'm known for. But I do have horror movies and science fiction, all of that in my past as well.
Absolutely, that's incredible. By the way, link will be in the description below, so you can check it out. And perfect. But tell me, let's go back in time here a little bit, and where the journey began.
Ooh, good question. So my dad was actually a drama teacher.
Okay.
So he was teaching acting to high school students and he was absolutely obsessed with movies. So our favorite thing to do together when I was growing up was to watch movies. And then he would ask me questions about them afterwards. And he's like, how did the lighting affect you? Or what do you think the journey for that character was? And what did they find out? So he would ask me really in-depth questions, even in an early age. So I think he kind of trained my brain to view movies differently than most people.
Okay.
So that started my love. And then he passed away when I was 14. So I think I pursued acting as a way to become closer to him after he wasn't with us anymore. So yeah.
Okay. Wow. And what were some of the challenges? So you were making your first acting steps, but what were some of those first challenges you encountered?
Oh my gosh, so many. I grew up in a small town, so one of the first things was I didn't know any actors. So it didn't seem like it was a job people could have. Like, you're surrounded by teachers and people who are dentists and lawyers, and you're like, okay, those are all real jobs. But like, if you don't know actors, you have no idea how to sort of go about becoming one. So I was lucky enough. I went to Toronto. I got a degree at university, and then I randomly met someone while I was a waitress who said, have you ever thought about being an actress? And I said, oh yeah, just every day of my life. And she was like, I'm going to give you my agent's card. You should give her a call. And so I did. And then I didn't know what I was doing, obviously, but I was lucky enough that on one of my first, I think it was my first audition, I ended up booking a movie. And then I had a lot of luck, but the challenges, I guess, a lot of self-doubt and imposter syndrome when you're starting out and you're just learning and not really knowing. I think a lot of career paths have solid steps that you can follow, and acting really isn't like that. So just kind of figuring it out and believing in myself was definitely one of the bigger challenges at the beginning.
Wow. And yeah, I mean, it's true that whenever we are starting something, at first we don't know what the hell we're doing, basically,
Yeah.
and it tends to be like this huge learning curve, which is just a yeah. I mean, I would say not. I mean, I wouldn't say like mistakes, but just
No.
part of the journey steps. You know what I mean? So.
I mean, I think like mistakes aren't necessarily a bad thing. I think we definitely learn a lot more from our mistakes than our successes.
Oh yeah.
And so I try to embrace my mistakes, and it is all about learning. It's about the journey. So yeah.
Incredible, incredible. Now, tell me, what is your approach when you were about to start this character creation process?
Well, when it comes to the characters, I know everybody's very different in their approach to this, but I personally try to find myself in the character because that makes it the easiest for me to connect. So in what ways are we similar? And then like, if it's someone who is doing something that is completely unlike me, then I'd have to be like, okay, so in what sort of situation would I react like that? Like, what are the underlying factors that would put me in that headspace to have that sort of reaction? And I think as humans, at the end of the day, we're all very similar, and it can be pretty easy to find yourself. Like, we have the same emotions. We all want to be loved. We all want to be accepted. There's all these like infinite truths that connect us all. And so I think I boil down every character to those truths, and I find the connection there.
Absolutely. What I find interesting is that there is no actual manual of how to create a character.
Not at all.
It's so interesting that everyone has like their own thing, and I think at the same time, for those who are starting out, it can be more relaxed for them to be like, you just find your own style. There's no. I mean, you can take pieces from certain actors here and there of how they prepare it, but at the end, I think it's important, right, to find like your own thing, because at the end you want to as well make your character as relatable and as real as possible, right?
Yes. And you know what? It's really interesting. I've thought about this so much because when you're in school,
Yeah.
you basically are taught exactly how to do something and to show your work, and this is the way you're supposed to do it. So we're trained from a very young age to be like, there's only one right way to do it, and you have to do it this way. So then when you become an actor, it's really hard to throw that out the window and to be like, you need to figure it out on your own and make your own sort of approach to this to make it work. So that was a huge challenge for me as well, was like, no one can tell you how to do it. You just have to figure it out and believe in yourself.
And do you remember like that first emotion when you were on your first film?
Terrifying. Yeah, I was so scared. And then also like that, I think can continue to like the first time I was on a really big, like high budget set, I was also very scared. And I think we all have imposter syndrome a little bit. Even like I've talked to people who are, you know, at the upper echelons of this industry. They still have it too. We all have days where we doubt ourselves. But also I think the first day I was so excited. Like it was just like me, a kid on Christmas, basically. Like you finally get to do that thing that you've thought about your entire life, and it feels like your dreams are coming true.
That's incredible. I love it. And do you, like when you go on set, do you bring like your lucky charm? I don't know, on a specific pair of shoes or something that you kind of bring always with you, or you just go?
Oh, you're so sweet. I wish I had a better answer for this one. I don't have a lucky charm, but I always bring, this is weird, I always bring slippers and a book to make myself have like a cozy corner. So if I need to sort of take a moment or decompress, I just get all my cozy stuff on, a nice big sweater, slippers, read my book for 5 minutes, because it can be very chaotic and very fast paced. And so sometimes you just need that time. So that's kind of, I guess, like a safety blanket, if anything.
Absolutely. Okay. Wow. I love it. And like, which character took you the most to prepare? You know, like that character that was something about it that took you more than usual, let's say.
Oh, I like that one. I think, well, obviously, if you're doing a lead role, you're going to have to do a lot more preparation ahead of time because the characters have such an arc or are on such a journey that you really have to think about it a lot more. So I did Unperfect Christmas Wish, which I believe came out last year. It was my first big role in an MOW as the lead, and I really, really wanted to get it right and to do it justice. And so I spent a ton of time preparing for that role, and just sort of finding not only the arc and the character and how she's changed from the beginning to the end of the movie, also how her relationships develop with the different people in the movie. And so I think anytime you have a lead role, you're obviously going to do more preparation. But if there was a role that totally took me out of my comfort zone that I had to prepare for, I once played like an alien female Terminator kind of role in a movie called Gray Matter, a sci-fi movie. So I'd say that one took a lot of preparation. There was a lot of physical fight scenes, so I also had to train a lot for that as well.
But that's cool. I love it. That's badass.
Thank you. It was really fun.
Yeah. Okay. And yeah, like moving on here like a little bit, tell me what has been your worst audition ever?
Ooh, I've had a lot of bad ones. I will not lie to you. I am not a perfect person. And I have found some actors are so good at auditioning. I'm not. I'm really good at being on set and working with people, but like the audition process when people are just sitting 3 feet away from you, staring at you while you're trying to perform is very nerve-wracking. I think probably one time I had to do an accent, a British accent, and I got up there and I said one word and it came out wrong, and then it was just all down. I could not for the life of me get the British accent to come back out, and so I was like, I'm just gonna go. Like, I know I didn't get this. That's okay. Thank you very much. And I just had to like bail out. And that was early on in my career, and it's definitely a moment I won't forget.
Absolutely. And how you handled like those emotions, because like how you handle, so you did audition, right?
Yeah.
It didn't work out as you wished. So how you handle those second thoughts auditions to be like, I should have done this instead of that. I should have like used this instead of that. Like how you put away like those toxic thoughts and just move and just continue forward with your day, basically.
It is hard, I will say that. A trick someone taught me is, because you usually have your sides, which are just the pieces of paper with all the lines on it, and you can bring that with you to auditions just in case you forget the words. And one thing someone said, as soon as you walk out the door, throw those in the garbage. And that's like the first physical reminder, like that's over with. We don't have to think about it anymore, on to the next thing. Because it is really easy to get wrapped up in the...
Yeah, absolutely.
to like, oh, what could I have done differently? How could I have booked that? Oh, I messed up. But I think the best thing to do is not to dwell on what could have been, to accept it is what it was. It is exactly how it happened. Accept that, and then try to think about the next thing in your life.
I love it. And how you prepare for an audition? Do you have like a specific song or a specific go-to something that put your minds to be like, okay, I'm ready to go, or you just go with the flow?
I like to meditate beforehand. Okay. I find that it calms my nerves down a lot. So I'll usually do like a 10-minute meditation, some deep breathing, and then go into it from there. And then also, like, it does help to physically shake off. Like, I don't know, it doesn't make any sense and it looks super weird, but if you can just like shake your body off and like let go of the extra energy, I find it helps me so much. Yeah. So hot tip, guys.
Yeah, I can. I sometimes do that whenever I'm about to like start like an interview. I will just be shaking,
cool.
Or I will start singing Wham, or you know, or like something that kind of put my mind like, okay, let's do this, and then I'll be like, it's like
I love that.
Yeah, like specifically, I will do that when I have interviews like at 4 or 5 a.m. You know, in which I feel like super tired.
You need that, like
like that spirit. Yeah. Otherwise, I will be like, you know, like
half dead. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Okay. Now, let's say that one day I call you and I tell you that I want to become an actor. Now,
okay,
I don't have like no experience, like zero. So based on what you know, what advice could you give to me for someone who wants to basically throw everything away and start this acting career from zero and just make it to the top, basically?
Okay, well, the first thing I always, because this does actually happen to me quite often, the first thing I say is like, why do you want to be an actor? Because if you're just doing it for the fame or the money, like that's the worst reason in the world. You probably won't get famous. You probably won't make a ton of money. Like, it is the arts, and you have to be. It's like winning the lottery. Becoming successful in this business is like winning the lottery. So once I know that that's not the reason, and it's just because this is something that they truly love and that sets their soul on fire, this is what they want to do, then I say you should go and start taking classes, involve yourself in community theater, anything that you can do. Like, I'll volunteer for student films. Like, get out there, start meeting people in any way you can. Look at message film boards when you go online for your city or your community, and just start volunteering. Do it for free so you get the experience, so you make those connections. When you have a little bit of money, go to those classes, learn as much as you can, and just use the people around you. Talk to people, because people will want to help you as long as you have the right intentions and you're a nice person.
There you go. I love it. I tell you what, if I ever become an actor and then one day I get my Oscar for Best Actor, I'll be mentioning you in my thing.
Oh, so sweet.
Absolutely.
I'll mention you, don't worry.
I love it. That sounds like a plan, but you know, it's so interesting because it is true that and I think like in general that if you do something for the wrong reasons, eventually everyone is going to realize that, you know, and besides that, you're gonna start hate it at some point, right? The fact that it's not the real you know, that it's something that you don't really like. I have discovered that at some point you will hate it, and it's so ironic to hate your success. You know what I mean? So
yeah, totally. And you know, like success and money, I know people who have achieved always fulfill you and make you happy life and make you feel really good every day and really wake up happy. It's not true. It's not going to work. But doing something that fulfills you and that you're really passionate about, that's where you're going to find the happiness. So make sure Absolutely. That's why you're doing it.
There you go. I love it. Now, let's say one day Netflix, HBO Max, Disney Plus, they call you and they tell you that they got this idea, which goes that they're going to make a film that all of the characters you have played at the moment, they're gonna gather to celebrate your birthday.
Ooh.
But that film needs a name, so how would you call it?
Oh, hot mess.
Okay, like it.
Yeah, I feel like, or a wild ride. I feel like I've played a lot of very different characters, and a lot of them have been very strong women. Like, I just did a movie over the summertime I had a lead role in who was like a domineering boss, B-word, kind of, I don't know if we can swear on here. So boss,
Yeah,
okay, boss bitch kind of lady. Okay. And then I played really sweet girl next doors, and then I played an alien. So if those were all in the same room for a birthday party, it would just be wild. It would be a wild adventure.
Absolutely. Now, if you had to take one of your characters to go out for a trip, which character would you go along with?
Ooh, good question. I think it would have to be when I was really, really, really early on in my career. I had a movie where it was a smaller role, but I got to play this like wild party girl who just did not care about anybody else, was always there to have a good time. You could be making out in the room and she's like, "We're going, stop what you're doing," like drag you out of the closet making out to go and party with her. I feel like it would be a once in a lifetime experience to go out with her on a trip.
Absolutely.
I don't think I would want to do it for more than 3 days, but yeah, it would be a good time.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I'll be, yeah, that sounds cool. Okay, I'll take it. Now, what about describing your whole career, but on a drink?
Ooh.
Like, how would you call that drink, and what would it have?
Okay, I'm gonna say a dark and stormy, because it has a little sourness from the lime in it, has a little bit of spice from the spiced rum and the ginger beer, but overall it's very smooth and sweet.
There you go. I'll take it. Okay. Sounds cool.
What about you? What's your drink? Tell me your drink of choice for your career.
Oh. Okay, I got one. Yeah, so it would be, so I don't know, so the name, I'm still thinking about it, but what would it have? So it would be a shot.
Oh, okay.
But it would have Tabasco and mezcal.
Oh, smoky and spicy.
Yeah, because this whole thing started out of an existential crisis, basically, and after that it's been amazing. It's been super fun, but it has its moments in which is all messy and I don't know what the hell am I doing, you know what I mean? But
welcome to the club, my friend. I'm right there with you. Yeah,
that I'm like I don't know, but it's amazing. So I will take that, or what else I would take? Probably, you know what? Yeah, probably like a glass of wine. The thing is because since I started till right now, there has been an improvement, with time. So, so time passed, so it tastes much better. So perhaps something like that. I wonder what will happen if I mix wine with Tabasco and mezcal.
There's only one here to find out.
I'm gonna definitely be trying out like at some point just to be like, what will happen?
Just to know. Yeah.
But yeah, something like that would be.
I like that. That's a good answer, especially the wine one, that it does get better and smoother with age. The more you do it, the easier it gets.
Yeah, because I ended up discovering also that if you want to do something, it's better just to jump, not try to thinking about it too much, because for example, with this podcast, I had this idea for years, and until a certain moment in my life in which I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do it right now. Screw it. Let's make it happen. Let's see what happens. And yeah, of course, that like the first episodes, they were kind of a little bit messy because it was like the first time that I was
figuring it out.
Yeah. Plus, talking with the camera in front of you and looking to the questions here and there. So it is not something that I was used to, and I didn't study to, and I didn't prepare to. So basically just jump and be like, we'll see what happens. So yeah.
But I think, that's such a good way to approach pretty much anything, because life experience is the best teacher you'll ever have, just going out there and doing stuff, which is also why I said, like, if I was going to give a new actor any advice, it would be volunteer and just get involved and try stuff out, because that's how you're going to learn.
Absolutely. And at the same time, once you jump and make that jump, it is really cool, the fact that you are like, your head doesn't kind of realize that you're actually doing it, and and later on you stop for a second and be like, I'm actually doing it. This is really cool,
it's happening. Yeah,
like this whole feeling, it's incredible. I remember my first interview, it was the most terrifying, amazing, hectic, stressing, incredible feeling ever. And even though that I was, super nervous, at the end of the day, I still remember it like it happened yesterday, so it's really cool.
It like burns into your memory that first time of that experience, of that like high, but also like traumatizing fear at the same time. You're like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. And and of course that I also have discovered that there's also moments in which you are questioning yourself, like, should I continue? Am I really good enough? Like we were talking before, this whole imposter syndrome. And at first I was like, come on. At first I was like, does that really happen? But yeah, later on, like one day you start to think about it and you're like, am I actually good enough? And you're like, oh, I'm actually in this thing right now. Okay, so, and I'm like the type of person that that whenever I have like those emotions, I tend to like see how like what's the word of it, like actually taste the feeling, to actually embrace it and be like, okay, I can understand that feeling. So yeah.
That's so healthy. And
Yeah.
like embracing all your emotions, because like it is all part of the journey and it's all part of the ride. And like even those feelings of being an imposter or
Yeah.
fear or whatever it is, like that's what makes us human. And we all experience those feelings. So the more we can talk about it and normalize it, the better, I think.
Absolutely. And that being said, tell me, like, what motivates you? As I was saying before, we all have those moments in which we basically want to quit. So, what usually puts you back on this road that you have built for so many years now?
Well, I think the one thing is like nothing makes me happier than acting. Like when I get to do, and I'm sure everybody has this, whether it's your job or a hobby, there's like that thing that you do that when you're doing it, everything else just kind of falls away. You
Yeah.
don't think about the outside world or your grocery list or your to-do list or problems you're having in the family. You're just there in the moment. You're very present, and like nothing else is like that for me. And so I can't imagine ever giving it up. And if I can't give it up, then I might as well just go for it.
There you go. There you go. Simple but epic. I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. And my last question: what can we expect from you in 2023?
Ooh, well, as I just said before, I did film a movie that will be coming out. Two movies, I guess. So I have a lead role in one that it was called Wedding Wars, but is now called May the Best Wedding Win. So that will be coming out in 2023. And then I have a smaller role in another Christmas movie. It should be coming out next Christmas. We don't have a release date. But that one, I'm not allowed to say the name of it. But if you watch my Instagram or IMDb, you can have all the info there as soon as I get it.
There you go. Fantastic. I mean, Alys, what can I say? Your career is incredible. It's epic. I love it. But the fact that you're doing it because you like it, because it's something that makes you happy, because it is your passion. I mean, as easy and cliche that for some people might think, we all know that it tends to be super hard. We all know that sometimes it can take your whole life to discover what you actually want to do in life. But the fact that you found it back then, and you're actually doing it, and you're proving results. I mean, I think that's proven enough for everyone here to be like, if she can do it, I can do it too. And I find that pretty cool.
And I think, like, as we were talking about before, when you start out and you don't know what you're doing, you really do just have to go for it, because I truly believe that there comes a tipping point with every journey. And the more effort and time you put into something, even if it's a struggle, even if it's not working out, eventually you're going to have created so much content, so much time, so much experience, it will tip in your favor and everything will start going a lot smoother as long as you don't give up. So I think resilience is the number one thing you can have. Just keep going and just keep trying. And yeah, we all have bad days, but don't let them make you quit.
Yeah, there you go. Yes, I do agree on that. Whenever you have like those days that you want to quit, just embrace it, put everything away, and just try to get along to it, and just be like, I'm having this feeling, but it's absolutely totally normal. Which I do think that sometimes we are, I mean, I wouldn't say like afraid, but shy, to kind of show up our emotions,
Yeah, completely.
And like,
no, go ahead.
No, you were saying, please.
I was just gonna say the same thing. Like, it's so funny because the thing that connects us all the most, that makes us all the exact same deep down inside, is what we all want to hide. We all want to hide that we're scared or we're lonely or we're having a hard time. But like, once we open up to other people, it allows us to connect with them because everybody else is experiencing the same thing. So yeah, I just want to normalize having those conversations and being able to connect on a deeper level.
Absolutely. And I mean, and I think that that's pretty interesting, the fact that that for some people might realize that actors feel that too, which I have discovered as well, that for the audience sometimes we will put actors in this, I mean, in these huge positions to be like, they're mighty and they don't have like these feelings, they don't know what is to be lonely or what is to be rejected or things like that. But it's not. I mean, we all go through those type of situations, of course differently, but the result is the same. And I think it's pretty interesting that we can show to people to be like, you know what, they have feelings too. You know, they're not machines. You know?
Yeah, it's true. And like, you know, as you get older and you meet more people, you know, you meet people who are extremely wealthy or very successful or, you know, famous actors, which I have friends in all those categories.
Yeah.
And like they still all experience the same things that everyone else does. They still get sad, they still get lonely, they're still scared of losing things. So I think, yeah, like we are all just human and we're all just trying our best. And I'm just a person. So if you ever want to chat with me, I'm happy to talk to you or anyone else who's watching this video right now. Just message me on Instagram because we're all going through the same stuff. Let's go through it together.
I love it. That's incredible. Keep doing what you do. It's inspiring. I mean, yeah, it's incredible. I love it.
Thank you so much for having me on. This is great.
Yeah, thanks so much for being here. Also, I want to thank those who watched this video. Thank you so much. It means a lot. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts as well, thank you so much for listening to it. Since this whole episode is about to be over, this is what you were gonna do. Okay. So first, you're gonna leave a like, subscribe, follow. It helps. But then you're gonna follow Alys in her social media. I'm gonna leave her social link below so you can check it. Let's make her viral. Come on, hashtag Team Alys, because she's incredible. She's amazing. And again, thank you so much for making this happen. Have an incredible upcoming new year, an incredible upcoming next year, and keep killing it, because it is incredible what you do, and I find that super awesome. So
yeah, thanks for having me on, Dan. Honestly, I really appreciated it. I love this conversation. I'm glad that we got into a little bit of a deeper conversation and talked about some real stuff. And I feel really lucky to just have spent this time with you. And thanks for listening and tuning in, everybody. And I wish everybody the best 2023 possible.
There you go.